it's Tenitsu, and today we'll be getting into part 6 of What If Naruto Was no Otsutsuki. If you want a part 7, then the like goal is 15 likes, but without further ado, let's just get straight into part 6. Now, for a quick recap of part 5, Naruto, Hinata, and Sasuke had gone to the third Okane's funeral, where Naruto met Konohamaru, the grandson of the third, and taught him the Shadow Clone Jutsu before moving out on the Tsunade retrieval arc. There, Naruto proved himself to Tsunade and defeated Kabuto. Afterwards, Sasuke was shocked by Naruto's new power and challenged him to a fight, which Sasuke basically lost, making him hungry for more power, as he wanted to defeat his brother sometime. So he joined the Sun 4. After a battle in the Valley of the End, Sasuke was left victorious because of a dirty trick in Kabuto, and so Naruto moved on to the 3-year-long journey with Jiraiya. Now 3 years had passed, and Naruto had grown a lot. His Otsutsuki genes had added some extra height, as well as he stood now at 5'6", which was around 2 inches taller than in the original, making him one of the tallest, if not the tallest now. And suddenly he jumped on a very high pole in a single jump and shouted, "I'm finally back!" smiling. Some people looked around. Some looked a little disgusted that he returned. Some waved, and others gave him a thumbs up and smile, although the majority fit in the first category. Now Naruto jumped down and began to walk around, meeting everyone again. The first person he met was Kiba, who smiled at him and gave him a quick hug. After that he met Shino, who he didn't recognize, hurting his feelings greatly, and after that he met Hinata again. Hinata, unlike the original, did not faint instantly after seeing him. Next she gave him a quick handshake. "Welcome back. We need to go to the fifth Hokage." "Yeah, alright," Naruto told her, as they began to run toward the Hokage mansion. Shortly after, Naruto and Hinata burst through the door. Naruto gave Tsunade a big smile, which she reciprocated. "Welcome back." And she began to explain some things that aren't as important to the story, but then told them that she had a surprise for both of them. Naruto looked around at Hinata with a confused but excited look on his face, but she looked none the wiser, and Naruto asked, "What is it?" And she smiled and pointed at the window. Naruto looked out of the window and saw Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said, smiling widely as he jumped out onto the roof, but Kakashi was reading a novel. It was the second time rereading this, as the next volume hadn't been released yet. As Naruto walked out to the roof, Kakashi gave him a quick wave, and Naruto began to pull out something out of his pocket. "I've got something for you," he said, finally pulling out that highly desired next novel, as it was a pre-release from Jiraiya personally. The village seemed to almost shake with the pure happiness and desire Kakashi had to read that book, so he quickly told both him and Hinata what they'll do tomorrow and where to meet, then instantly disappeared. It seemed he was really looking forward to reading this. The next day, Hinata, Naruto, and Kakashi, the last one, was very surprisingly uh, not late, as Kakashi had a very big reputation for being late, and Kakashi proceeded to explain more about the work, what they were going to do today. "Now, you've of course already done this test, but today I'll be testing your powers more in the second round of the belt tests. Rules are still as normal." Kakashi gave them a big smile, which both of them returned, and so the fight began. After Kakashi gave them a countdown, as the countdown ended, Naruto jumped at Kakashi after giving Hinata a thumbs up and telling him, "We'll defeat him together." And Hinata gave a thumbs up as well, as the fight truly began. As Naruto began to taijutsu battle Kakashi, the latter was absolutely stunned, as Naruto was actually better and stronger than him in taijutsu. Naruto was actually winning against Kakashi, and this was not known to Kakashi, of course. Naruto wasn't even using his full power. He was using half at most, as he had not been using his full power for the last 3 years, to improve his chakra control and so he wouldn't kill everyone by accident. As Kakashi was being beaten, he quickly pulled out his headband, showing off his Sharingan, but Naruto responded by using his own Sharingan, now making him better than even Kakashi with the Sharingan. But floored Kakashi, but this small mistake, letting his guard down for a second at best, cost him the fight, as Hinata flew at Kakashi, performing the 64 palms so fast. Kakashi was absolutely stunned at her power as well, and her strength. Jesus Christ. Hinata was the student of Tsunade, replacing Sakura, so she was basically a stronger, better personality, better in general, everything better, Sakura. Kakashi was flung back as he was completely unable to get up, and Naruto and Hinata kept the belt, with Naruto giving Hinata a pat on the back, making her blush a little, but not anything more. Now the rest all went similar to Kaden, as one day they learned of Gar's disappearance and head off to the Sand Village, with everything going the same. Naruto was still caught in Itachi's Genjutsu, etc. But now let's skip ahead to when they finally arrive. Hinata is able to make a cure for Sasuke's poison much faster than Sakura ever could, and she heals Kankuro, grabbing an extra flask for her and her other team members. In Tsunagakure, Naruto and the rest of Team 7 also meet Lady Chio, who seemed like an unbearable old hag, as she thought of the young generation as weak and didn't ever support them, but still put all the problems from her generation on their backs, without a second thought. Now, as that is not really important to the story, we'll be skipping ahead to the fights, that being Hinata and Lady Chio against Sasori, and Naruto and Kakashi against Deidara. As Naruto, being the main character of this What If and the series in general, was fighting Deidara, we'll just do that first. As Naruto saw Deidara, his blood began to boil. This man, this was the man responsible for Gaara's disappearance. The boy he was so proud for becoming the Kazekage so early. The boy who would overcome his hatred, being killed just for their plans. This, this wasn't how things were supposed to go. Gaara and him should have become close friends and both be the Kage of their respective villages. But these men just took Gar away from him like that? No, he wouldn't allow that. A bit of orange chakra swelled up within him, but the whitish blue chakra quickly calmed him down. Naruto's fury wasn't enough for the fatherly nature to fail, so it worked as always. And with the extra power boost of this aura, Naruto began the fight against Deidara. Naruto was doing incredibly well against him, as Naruto wasn't used to this. And so, after some fighting, which consisted of Deidara sending high amounts of explosives at Naruto, which he either dodged or completely destroyed, Naruto was finally able to defeat him, with the fatherly chakra often coming in very useful, especially when he used a Rasengan to completely blow apart the bird, which was carrying Gar in its mouth. So Daedra, shocked by this kid's power, quickly fled with another gigantic explosive clay bird, being very disgruntled. Was he, the great, incredibly talented and artistic Daedra, just beaten by something like that? No. No, he couldn't have. Yes, it must have been him holding back because the bluish white chakra was so beautiful. Yes, that must be it. Naruto began walking back, carrying Gar's body, in complete shock, as back to the sand village, where the fight with Sasori also began. Now Hinata, being much more capable than Sakura could have ever dreamed of, was able to hold Sasuke at bay quite well, as alongside Lady Chiyo's help. In some cases, he liked using her puppet jutsu, so Hinata was barely able to avoid an attack from Sasori. But in the end, like in the original, he let himself be killed by his mother and father puppets, just wanting to feel their last embrace before succumbing to his wounds, giving his slight smile, at Hinata showing her that, whilst his body may be a puppet, his heart was not. As Naruto arrived back, his face looked pale as he tested if Gaara still had a pulse, only to find he had truly died. He'd never forgive him that. Never. But it seemed this loss was counterable, as Lady Chiyo stepped up and told everyone, "This generation doesn't need me anymore. It needs a leader, a figure of peace." She finally smiled at them all and thanked them. "Thank you for letting me finally see the truth of my actions. I... I'll be giving my life for now. I trust in all of you to make this world a better place." And so she performed the jutsu, giving her own life to revive Gaara. As Gaara's eyes opened slowly, Naruto flung around his arms and hugged him, as he then helped him up with a single tear escaping Gaara's eyes, as Naruto clapped him on the back. "You had me worried there. I thought you died." And he hugged Gaara once more before taking his leave with Kakashi and Hinata. Kakashi wasn't forced to use the Kamui this time, so he was still in very good shape, and so all was well. But the next day something rather interesting happened. A strange man suddenly attacked Naruto, but Naruto was able to easily deflect his attack. That man proved to be Sai. That new man was Sai, and he was added to their team as a replacement for Sasuke, as they couldn't go around in a team of 3 in total. So Sai was added, and he immediately left a bad impression by, first of all, attacking Naruto, although this was just a test to see how powerful Naruto was, but also insulting not only Naruto, but Hinata as well, angering Naruto a lot, almost punching Sai, but holding himself back. If Naruto really punched Sai, he would have probably knocked him out or maybe even killed him. But Sai looked very wounded, as even though Naruto held back, his hair was pushed back by the shockwave of the punch alone. The next day, they set up on their mission, that being to retrieve Sasuke. On the journey there, Naruto was getting a lot more annoyed by Sai, as the interaction often reminded him of the ones he had with Sasuke back in the day. And he was also often nonchalantly bringing up Sasuke's misdeeds, causing several almost punches by Naruto, but he always stopped himself. After arriving at the Tenchi Bridge, Kakashi quickly disguised himself to meet a spy, that being Kabuto. However, the technique binding Kabuto to Sasori, who Kakashi had disguised as, had been dispelled a long time ago, since Kakashi's attack wasn't able to land, and Kabuto was able to attack Kakashi, easily destroying the disguise. Orochimaru then called out to the rest of Kakashi's team and taunted Naruto by speculating who was not stronger, Naruto or Sasuke. The mere mention of Sasuke's name out of Orochimaru's mouth made Naruto's blood boil, and it seemed his eyes flickered red as he was slowly enveloped by an orange chakra. Now, I hope you all enjoyed this part of the What If. If you did, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But without further ado, this was Hitanitsu, and I am out.